Hello, everybody. How are you? I'm just checking to see if Brent responded. Texted Brent to ask if he had a snow day yesterday. I had a snow day yesterday. It was very, very nice. Hey, we'll start this lesson about love in 35 seconds. Hopefully, everything is working properly. Yes, it sounds like it. So we'll start in about 20 seconds. Everything is working great. Hi to everyone in the chat. Welcome to this English lesson about love. We'll get started in about 10 seconds. I think everything's working the way it's supposed to. Nothing's acting strange or anything like that. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about love. This lesson is, I think, a good topic for today because today, the time of this lesson, it's Valentine's Day. In many countries around the world, people celebrate Valentine's Day. It's a day to celebrate the person who you love in a romantic way. So maybe you have a partner, maybe you are dating someone, maybe you are going out with someone, maybe you're married. Today is a great day to celebrate romantic love, the kind of love that two people have between each other, hopefully for their entire life, although I do know it sometimes doesn't work out that way. So once again, welcome to this English lesson about love. So hey, welcome to this English lesson. Welcome to Diago, Eric, Cause, Tructor, Judith, Barbara, Justin Wedge, John Wedge, not Justin, sorry, John. Lolly, know that, Happy Learners, Sandra, Judith, Key Park, Hafiez, Positive Energy, Tomic, a lot of familiar faces in the chat. Hopefully you enjoy this English lesson about love. Let me get the question form pinned so that you know where it is. Let me get back over here. If you have a question, please use the form that is pinned to the top of the chat. I will stop periodically through the lesson to answer those questions. And please make sure the question is about love. As I mentioned, it's Valentine's Day here in Canada and in many other countries in the world. It's a day where you maybe give a small present to the person who you love. So I do want to say this, though. This lesson is safe for work. It is safe for school. So there are aspects of romantic love that I will not be talking about, passion and desire and all those things, but I will give you a lot of words and phrases, over 30 words and phrases with pictures so you can talk about love. So hopefully the lesson goes well. Once again, hello to Kurt, Luciano, Dima, Bridget, Diago, Bula, Octovina. Let me scroll back. Hi to Michael and Know That, Ralph, Bridget, Vitor, Andres. Hopefully everything is working for everyone. Let me just check to make sure you guys can see the shapes of people leaving for school in the background there. So here we go. Let's get this lesson started. I think we should do that. I think I mentioned everything I normally mention. Here we go. Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day, if you want to read the history of it, I don't think started in a very nice way, but this lesson isn't about the history of Valentine's Day. It's to talk about what is this day. When I was a kid in school, as a little kid, I would give Valentines to people in my class. So I would make a little card, or my mom would buy little Valentines with like a cartoon character in a heart, and then it would say, "Be my Valentine," and you might give it to your friends even in your class when you're a little kid. When you're an adult, though, it means that if you have someone in your life, that's how we describe having a romantic partner or someone who you are dating or married to. If you have someone in your life, it's a day to maybe give them a gift, maybe go out to dinner, maybe go on a date or spend time with them. So today is Valentine's Day, a day for romance. It's also a day, excuse me, it's also a day where there are a lot of flowers involved, but we don't have flowers at this time of year on our farm. Anyways, we are talking about romantic love. In English, we don't have different words for love, but we sometimes describe that kind of love. So there's the love of a parent for a child. There's a love of a child for a parent. If you are really good friends with people, you might say you love your friends. But there's also romantic love, where it's a lot more than like. Let's just say that. When you talk about romantic love, it means you like the other person. You want to spend a lot of time with the other person. You are attracted to the person. They might be funny, but physically, you might like the way they look. And so you have a kind of love that we call romantic love. And then let's talk a little bit about Valentine's Day. So there are a number of very popular gifts on Valentine's Day. One might be chocolates. So giving chocolates in a heart-shaped box. So we use the shape of the heart to represent romantic love. You might also give flowers on Valentine's Day, or you might give jewelry. Now, there are other gifts as well. You might give perfume. You might give a type of clothing that I'm not going to describe here because it goes into the passionate side of love, but you would definitely give chocolates. I might actually give Jen chocolates later today. I have to go to the store yet. Hopefully she's not watching. You might give flowers, or you might give jewelry. The most common flowers to give would be a dozen red roses. In Canada and in many countries, a dozen red roses represents romantic love. So I am not buying Jen a dozen red roses. They're quite expensive at this time of year, but I think I might go and buy her some chocolates. We'll see. And then I have not bought Jen any jewelry. So I guess I'm not a great husband, but that's okay. She will still be happy with whatever I get her. So there's a few phrases that we use when we talk about when two people are starting to like each other. So they're not in love yet, but think about two people who are in university, or two people who are in their 20s who maybe work together, or they meet through a friend. They might think someone's cute. So even though we use the word cute usually to talk about like a little puppy, like a little dog is cute, we also use it to say that we kind of like someone. So when I was in university, I thought Jen was cute, and Jen probably thought I was cute. And then eventually we started to go out. So when you think someone's cute, it's like the initial feelings you have when you first meet someone and you think you might want to get to know them better. You might have a crush on someone. So when you have a crush on someone, it means you see them regularly, maybe again at university or at work, or maybe when you get together on the weekends with friends. Maybe there's a person there that you really hope that you can go out with them on a date sometime. We would say that you have a crush on them. When you have a crush on someone, you think about them a lot in a romantic way. Like you think, oh, I want to go on a picnic with them in the park. I want to go see a movie with them. I really, really like this person. To like someone. So simply put, you can just say you like someone. For instance, I'm trying to think of an example. Let's say your sister's friend is someone that you think is cute, and you kind of have a bit of a crush on her. You might just say to your sister, you know, your friend, I kind of like her. And that indicates to your sister that maybe you might want to go out with her friend. So when you like someone, it can mean that you just like them. Like, I like my coworkers. There's nothing romantic about that. I like going to work. But if you say, hey, I kind of like that girl, or I kind of like that guy, it usually means you wouldn't mind getting to know them better. To fancy someone. This is an older phrase. It might still be used in British English. I don't use this phrase very often, but I do hear it sometimes on TV shows where someone will say that they kind of fancy someone. This also means that they think they're kind of fun to be around. They think that they're kind of cute. They think that they might want to go on a date with them. So when you fancy someone, it means you like them. We have another phrase, more than just friends. So sometimes a person might be friends with someone, and then they might say, you know, I fancy them. I want it to be more than just friends, which means you would rather, instead of just being friends, you also date them. To flirt. So flirting is an obvious relationship or activity that you will see between two people who do like each other romantically. Well, hopefully they both like each other. When you flirt, it means well, here would be a good example. If there was a circle of people, and if one person was constantly joking with one other person and talking to that person, maybe even touching them on the arm, although touches, you got to be careful with touch, but maybe they're doing something where it's obvious that they're flirting. It's obvious that they like each other. If you see two people flirting, it will be obvious that they are really happy being with each other and really happy talking to each other. And you realize it's probably more than just friends, to use the other phrase as well. To have feelings for someone. When you have feelings for someone, it means that you are falling in love, or maybe you are in love. So when you have feelings for someone, it doesn't mean all of the different emotions. It means like and love. So when you have feelings for someone, it means that you like them. When I was in university, I met Jen. We had a few conversations and we started to have feelings for each other. We started to like each other and wanted to go on a date or to see each other more. And then we get to ask someone out. So when you ask someone out, it means it's kind of scary, but you're saying to them, I really like you. I would like to go have a cup of coffee with you. I would like to maybe go out and see a movie with you. I wouldn't mind. Can we meet and go for a walk in the park? When you ask someone out, it's more than just a friendship. You are kind of saying to that person, I like you. I think you're cute. I am attracted to you. I want to spend more time with you. Can we go out? Can we go out on a date? So when you ask someone out, it means that you are going to do an activity together where you can talk and get to know each other better. Hey, let's look at some questions here. What do we got? 252 people watching. I'm always surprised at how many people end up watching this. So welcome to all of you who are here. I'm going to answer some questions from the chat, and then we will continue with the lesson in just a moment. So from Renata, hello, Jen and Bob. I have no questions today. Happy Valentine's Day to you both. God bless your marriage and your wonderful children, and have a great day. Well, thank you, Renata. I hope you have a really good day as well. Next question is from Know That. Hello, Bob. Personal question. What was the most extraordinary Valentine's Day present you gave Jen, if there was one? Thanks in advance, sir. There's never been an extraordinary gift. Jen and I don't often give gifts to each other. Some couples don't. But if we do, we try to make it meaningful. So I'll probably try to think of something Jen enjoys and maybe buy a little something today. We'll see. Depends if I have time to get to the store that I need to get to. From Fritz, did you buy a bouquet of flowers for your dear wife today? So I do not buy flowers for Jen. Jen grows flowers. She does not enjoy the kind of flowers that you buy in February in Canada. So Jen really loves flowers that are grown outdoors in the spring, summer, and fall, and you can't get those right now. So Jen has told me to not buy her flowers. Buy her something else like chocolate. Chocolate's a good one. Let's see. Let's see here. From Mohammed, most of us know that the AI tool is now very handy, but we tend to ask you because we love to see our questions being answered by you, especially on live streams. Yeah, so I have an interesting relationship with AI. As you know, I haven't used AI much at all on my channel. People have asked me to do a lesson about how to use AI, and I don't know if I will. I like the human connection. If you think about it, you can play a game with cards called Solitaire, where you're playing with yourself, but I prefer to play cards with other people. And so I think I have the same feeling with language learning. I like teaching people and interacting with people. I don't mind AI. I think it's very cool, but I like the human connection. That's what I would say. From Lindy, do you think Valentine's Day is overrated or a beautiful tradition? I think it's a little bit overrated in the sense that in a country like Canada, there are a lot of advertisements that try to tell you you should be spending lots of money on Valentine's Day, that the way you show someone you love them is by buying them a $500 necklace. And I don't like that part of it. I think the way you show someone you love them is by being kind and maybe buying them a small gift that is very, very meaningful. That would be my response to that. From Gregory, do women ask money for Valentine's Day in Canada? Not usually, no. I think everyone just looks for probably the best thing you can give on Valentine's Day is to spend time with that person in some way. So back to the question about gifts as well. I think sitting and having a cup of tea in a nice cafe is better than a $500 necklace and you don't have good conversation anymore. So that's what I would say. I am only going to answer questions that are about love. From Gazi, thanks for your lessons and I really love you. So just thank you. I appreciate the compliment. But just make sure you say, this is a better way to say it. Thanks for your lessons. I really love your lessons. In English, when you say you love someone, it is a very strong word. Like is a better word, better choice. From Lexi, are there any free classes for international students? In Canada, there are. If you are a refugee or an immigrant or an international student, there are free classes for sure. From Judith. Hi, Bob. Hi, Judith. What was the best gift you got for Valentine's Day? I don't think of only actual gifts. And have you ever seen your kids getting a gift from a girl? I can't think of the best gift, but I'll go back to what I said earlier. The best gift is time. So when Jen and I take a break from our work to spend time together, I like that. And I haven't seen one of my kids get a gift from a girl. I do know when they were little, they would come home with lots of Valentine's cards, and that was kind of cute. From Lolly Lolly, you and Jen, love at first sight, if it's not too personal. We certainly liked each other. I wouldn't say it was love at first sight, but I think it was definitely, I'm going to talk later about to have chemistry with someone. When you have chemistry with someone, you like each other right away and you have the same sense of humor and you like some of the same things, but I would say we had chemistry. That's what I would say. Oh, Tang says, Greenwich Mean Time +8. I'm enjoying the weekend now. How about you? I'm enjoying the morning and I have to go to work soon. So, that's what I would say. Anyways, I texted Brent this morning. Did you get a snow day yesterday? His response, we did. It was glorious. So I'm going to text him back. Me too. They're awesome. So Brent lives quite a ways from me, about 11 hours away, but we get similar weather. So a snow day is when there is no school. I had no school yesterday. I didn't have to go to work yesterday, and Brent didn't either. So I see Brent down in the chat. Brent says, the day before vacation, my class and I are watching. Great lesson. Thanks, Brent. Yes, safe for work, safe for school. That's what this lesson is. No, that says, at least 2027, you have to make a lesson about AI, Bob. I have the reminder in my calendar. Yeah, at some point, I will have to do a lesson. The most AI I use is Nightbot right now. And then occasionally to make a photo if I can't find exactly what I want to display. From Hug, I just say, thank you, Bob. Today's topic is so lovely. It makes me happy. You are very, very wonderful. Let's see here. Let's have a sip of water and we'll get back to the lesson. There are quite a few slides today, so I should keep rolling. So to ask someone out, that's the only pickup line I'm giving you today. Want to go for coffee sometime. That's a very safe way to ask someone out. To go on a date. So a date, it's kind of an official outing. It's an official activity between two people who might eventually fall in love, who certainly like each other enough that they want to get to know each other better. That's another common English phrase. If you meet someone and you like them, you might want to get to know them better. So you might go on a date in order to enjoy each other's company, to talk a little bit more, to laugh and tell jokes, and maybe try something like, I think I mentioned earlier, going for a coffee, going for a walk in the park, maybe going to a movie, and then maybe going out to eat. But when you go on a date, you're basically saying to each other, like, hey, would you like to go out sometime? Yes, I would love that. And then you're going to do something with just the two of you. There are things like double dates where you go out with a bunch of people, but this is just a time where two people can explore whether they want to keep getting to know each other better. I think that's the best explanation I can give. To go out with someone is the same as going on a date, but it can also mean that you are now a boyfriend and girlfriend, if that's the relationship. So I could say when I was in university, I asked Jen if she wanted to go out with me. That would mean I asked if she wanted to go on a date. I can also say when I was in university, when I came home, I told my parents I was going out with someone. So you can use this phrase to mean one date, or you can use this phrase to mean that you are continually seeing each other. So I could say, you know, my nephew has been going out with the same girl for a year. Maybe they'll get married. So when you go out with someone, it means you are together in the sense that you are dating. So again, that's exactly the phrase that I just said. When you are dating someone, it means that two people have decided to only get to know each other better. So sometimes when you're younger in university or something, you might go on a date with one person and then maybe it wasn't that great. You didn't really click, like you didn't like each other that much. So you might go on a date with someone else. But when you are dating someone, it means you are only going on dates regularly with that person. You have decided that this is the person you think is worth spending more time with, and this person is worth getting to know better. So when you are dating someone, you are exclusively seeing that person. You're exclusively dating that person. To be seeing someone is the same thing. Oh, is he seeing someone? No, he's not seeing anybody right now. I think he's single. Oh, is she seeing anybody? No, she's not. So if you say, oh, he's been seeing someone for a while, it means that they are in a romantic relationship. They are dating each other. They are seeing each other. To love someone. So this is the basic phrase. I did want to put this in here because I want to talk about how we use the word love in English. If I say to Jen, I love you, that's an appropriate use of the phrase, I love you. It means that I have deep, deep feelings for Jen. Sometimes in the comments, people will say, I love you to me. And I'm always a bit uncomfortable with that. Here's how I would phrase it. I would say, Bob, I really like you and I love your lessons. It's always better if you're not in a relationship like Jen and I, to use love to talk about the thing someone is doing. I would say to a coworker, I love how you interact with students. That's a good thing. That's a compliment. But if I say to a coworker, I love you, that's not appropriate. You would not say that. I could say, I love working with you. That would be appropriate. I love working with you, or I like working with you. So be careful with the word love in English. Now you can say things like this. You can say, oh, I love the movie The Martian. Like I'm allowed to say that. But be careful with the word love when you're talking to people. To be fond of someone. Now this can mean romantic love, but it can also just be that, like, you can be fond of your grandparents. It's a kind of love that just means it's like the opposite of not liking someone. So if you're fond of someone, it usually means romantic, it has a romantic meaning, but it can also just be family members and also food. I'm very fond of pizza. I'm very fond of chocolate. To adore someone. So this is Taylor Swift, and this is one of her fans. Her fan adores her. In English, when we use the phrase adore or the verb adore, it means you, like, if you adore Taylor Swift, you probably have all her albums and you try to go to every single concert you can go to. If you adore your favorite football team, you probably have their jersey. I just adore them. But maybe better used for a band or a singer. Yes, I would say. Or maybe there's an actor that you think is really, really attractive. You might just say, oh, I adore them. So that would be a word you might use to adore someone. I didn't go to the Taylor Swift concert, by the way. The tickets were way too expensive, and I don't really adore her music. So infatuation. So when you are infatuated, when you have infatuation, it means you think about someone a lot, and maybe you think about them too much. Sometimes people are infatuated with someone and it's not healthy because maybe the other person doesn't feel the same way about them. So maybe I'm trying to think of an example. Maybe there's someone you know and you think they're cute and you think they're attractive and you really hope to get to know them better someday. You might be infatuated. So it can be okay to be infatuated, but it can be a little bit too much. Like, especially in a situation where the other person doesn't actually feel the same way. So infatuation, thinking about someone a lot, liking someone a lot, and thinking about them all the time, basically. Significant other. So we have the phrase in English, significant other. This refers to if you are in a relationship and have a partner, have a romantic partner. So Jen is my significant other. Sometimes at work, we'll have a work party. So we had a Christmas party for work. And then on the invitation, it says, everyone's welcome to bring their significant other. That means you can bring your husband, you can bring your wife. If you are dating someone, you can bring your boyfriend or girlfriend. You can bring your significant other. So significant means important. And then other just means, a different person, right? So sometimes you'll get an invitation that says you can bring your significant other. With weddings or other things that are like more formal parties, you might be allowed to bring a +1. So if I get an invitation to a wedding, and if the people don't know that I'm married, they might just say, Bob, you're invited to this wedding, and then you're allowed a +1. That means I'm allowed to bring Jen with me. Having a +1 when you go to a wedding is very nice. It's not nice to go to a wedding all by yourself. So significant other simply refers to the person you are in a romantic relationship with, be that boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. And then +1 would be on a formal invitation, they might say you can bring a +1. Like if I was invited to the Oscars, like an awards ceremony, they might say, oh, you can bring a +1. Then I would bring Jen, of course. To hit on someone. So this is an interesting one because it means that you are actively talking to someone, maybe trying to flirt with someone, maybe at a party, maybe you're somewhere where there's someone who you really want to go out with. If you hit on them, it means it's not always a good description. Like someone could say, oh, that guy was hitting on me at the party and it really annoyed me. Or it could be like, oh, it was kind of funny because that guy was hitting on me. So when you hit on someone, like this guy is trying to play guitar and impress this girl, we would say maybe he is hitting on her. He's paying her a lot of attention. He's trying to impress her. He's trying to get her to like him. He is hitting on her. To fall in love. So this is like the ultimate thing that happens when two people like each other, maybe start to date. Eventually, they might really start to like each other, and it will become love. They will fall in love. They will be in love. So this is something that is just very special. It's nice if you can meet someone in the world who you really like and you like doing things together, and you physically will fall in love. You want to spend time with them. You want to go for walks with them. You want to embrace them. You might want to kiss them. You will fall in love. And then that hopefully lasts a very long time. I really like it when people find someone who they can spend the rest of their life with. I just think that's really, really cool. Hey, it looks like I'm getting a few little errors here, but I think it's still working. Yes. Yeah, it's still working. I just had some errors there for a sec, so that's good. Hey, we can move into members only chat though. Let me fire that up. Let me get that set up and going. If you are a member, you may ask questions directly in the chat, and I will continue to answer questions from the form. What was I going to say? I'll do that first while I wait for some questions to start to pop up. Let me get a question on the screen. Let's see. Here we go. From Sarah in Iran. Valentine's Day is mostly for lovers, and I didn't know that kids in Canada give each other gifts, cards, or chocolates. We came to Canada for 5 months. So yes, in schools, kids give little, usually mostly like a little Valentine's card. Sometimes there's a candy or chocolate taped to it, and it's for little kids. Yeah, that's, it's kind of a funny thing, but yes. And it's kind of, you have to go and buy Valentines for your kids. And sometimes they have like Spider-Man on them and other strange things like that. But definitely something that we do here. From Unsel, and then I'll start in the chat. Hello, what do you think about the idea that love fades with time? What do you think life would be like without love? Thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Bye. So I don't know if love fades with time. I think it can get stronger in some relationships. I think it can get boring in other relationships, and people might eventually go apart. I avoided talking about people breaking up and divorce and all that kind of stuff in this lesson because I want this to be about love. But I think it depends on the people. So in some relationships, love will grow with time and it will become stronger. Excuse me. But I think in others it can fade. And then what do you think life would be like without? I don't think it would be, it would lose some of its zest, some of its fun. That's what I would say if we didn't have love. From the chat, Hafia says, just a less than a second loading screen just now, all good. Yeah, it just booped a little bit on me, a few little errors, and it was back. No, that says, but with Stan, I'm not sure if it has more of a negative connotation. A Stan definitely has a negative connotation, yes. Andra says, yeah, the stream has a few glitches here and there, but for the most part, it's okay. Good. Hafiez says to know that originally it's very negative, an overzealous stalker fan, yes. Nowadays, people use Stan freely. If you know the origin, it's from a song by Eminem. Yes, that's where that does come from. Eva says, hi, everybody. Hi, Bob. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. John Wedge says, hi, Bob and everyone. I'm doing much better after having dengue fever. Good news. Melissa will be born on Monday morning. Oh, like dengue fever. You're all better. You're having a kid. It's like there's a lot of things going on in your life, John. I'm giving the date and time because it will be a C-section. Well, I certainly hope it all goes well for you. No, that says, hi, Bob. As always, do you have any plans for your weekend? No. It's supposed to start snowing again later today, and it's supposed to snow all the way until Sunday. So we're going to hunker down and just stay at home. We've had some beautiful snow, and we just keep getting snow. So I don't plan to go anywhere, really. Thanks for gifting the membership, Know That. So Eat Some Cookies was gifted a membership from Know That. Thank you for doing that. Very awesome of you. Thank you for supporting the channel and for helping someone else out. Let's see here. Question on the screen. Ezra says, I'm really interested in language and I really want to be in touch with native speaker. This is my favorite way to learn. Do you know anyone interested in chatting? So I do think you have to hire someone. I think if you look in the description below, there's a link to Preply. I used Preply to practice my French. It was a good way. It costs money. Or if you can find someone that wants to learn your language on a language exchange. That's all I would say about that one. Let's go back to the chat. Key Park says, Happy Valentine's Day to Bob and Jen. Thank you. John Wedge says, thanks, Bob. Yes, a lot of things happening at the same time. Brent says, John, best of luck with the new edition. Got dengue fever last April. Not fun. No, definitely. That does not sound fun. Eva says, it's snowing in Poland. Finally. Oh, we just keep getting it here. It is the best winter in a long time. Lolly, do you think love is the most important in life? I think so. I think love is one of the things that makes us human. And there's a lot of different kinds of love. Again, like you can love your brothers and sisters. You can love your parents. If you have children, you love your children. You can love your country. You can love your hockey team. So I think that feeling of loving a single person or loving the people around you, I think is very important for sure. No, that says, could you explain the meaning of the phrase, let your hair down, and give some examples of its usage? Thanks a lot, Bob. When you let your hair down, it means you, like, let's say there's a person at work who always follows the rules, and that person, he gets annoyed if other people don't follow the rules at work. But then on Friday, he just does whatever he wants. He just lets his hair down. Like he comes to work late and he wears jeans when he's not supposed to and a t-shirt. You could say, oh, Joe, he just lets his hair down every Friday. That would be an example of that. Let's see. Lolly says, thanks for the answer. I agree with you. Thanks, Lolly, for that. Let me get another question on the screen. It's interesting. Oh, wrong one. Here we go. From Pavel. Hello, Teacher Bob. Hope you're staying healthy and happy. Sincere feelings in relationships are becoming less and less. Market and trade relations prevail, unfortunately. So I will admit that I am not the best equipped person to talk about romantic love for people, like to explain it to people who are much younger than me. I grew up in an era where people met people in person and asked each other out in person or maybe with a phone call. I am not familiar with the concept of using a dating app to find a partner or texting someone to ask them out. Like Jen and I met way back in time in the late 90s, mid 90s, late 90s. So back in that era, we didn't have phones. I think we just had email. Like it was just starting to be a thing. So I'm not familiar with what it's like right now. And I do feel like sincere feelings are easier to see when you talk to someone in person. It must be a lot harder right now finding someone and asking someone out online. It just seems it's probably cool and fun and everything, but I don't know how that works. Eat Some Cookies says, good morning. Love you, Bob. My best teacher. You are welcome. Thank you for the compliment. Sorry. Love conquers all, says Hafiz. I would agree. Let me get another question on the screen here. So from Sophia, hello, Bob. What is your favorite story or novel about love? Happy Valentine's Day to you and Jen. I do like the movie Love Actually. It's a Christmas movie. Just be warned, there are some scenes in it that you might not think are appropriate, but it is a pretty funny movie about love. That's all I will say about someone who's I think he's the Prime Minister of England. I can't remember. Hugh Grant, is that who it is? Anyways, I like that movie. It's very, very good. But again, get some information about it before you watch it. I don't remember how much swearing there is in it. There might be some nudity in it. I'm not sure. So check that. Make sure you learn about it before you watch it. Let's see, from Wanda Prado. Hi, Teacher Bob. How do you handle disagreements? Thanks a lot. Like with Jen and I, we usually just talk it out. We don't often have disagreements, but we are human beings. Sometimes we argue about things. Usually we try to, if we're having an argument, we try to resolve it the same day. Jen and I will rarely go to bed if we are annoyed with each other. Like, we won't go to sleep. We'll try to figure it out. But sometimes there's been a few things where we didn't see eye to eye. That's when you don't agree with someone. And you just got to talk it out. It's sometimes hard, but it's the only thing you can do. Bob is learning archery to secretly become Cupid. Yes, that. I'm back to my old bow because I didn't do it for a while, and this is a lighter bow, so it's easier to pull. So I'm getting back into it. John Wedge says, hi, Bob. Hey, Bob, by the way, happy Valentine's Day. It's going to be really nice for you to stay at home enjoying the cold weather and enjoy Valentine's Day with Jen, eh? Yes, it will be nice, although I do have to go to work yet today. Evan says, today I talked about movies about love with my students. They don't know any I watched. Yes. And Know That says, yes, you're right. He is the Prime Minister. Yes, he is the Prime Minister. Know That backing up says, as always, thank you for your answers, Bob, and for everything you do for us. No problem. I missed one there. And then John Wedge. Hey, folks, as always, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Thanks, John, for that. And if you're new here, click on the subscribe button. Yes, you should do that. Hey, I'm going to turn off members only chat, and we are going to keep rolling along here. Let's see here. Where is that button? Let's go to subscribers. It says the connection is excellent still. It says everything is working well. Good. Thanks for being members, everybody who are members. If you're interested in becoming a member, there is a button somewhere that says join. Clicking it doesn't join you right away, but it will explain what happens if you join. You get an extra video on Wednesdays, a lesson plan on Mondays, your name in green during live lessons every Friday and the first Saturday of every month. So hopefully that is something you are interested in. Okay, where am I here? Have a sip of water. That's what someone in the chat will say soon. Okay. To fall in love. We did that one, right? Yes. To fall for someone. So let's say there's someone that you know and you kind of like them. You think they're cute. You're attracted to them. You think they're funny. You really like talking to them. Eventually, you might start to have feelings for them, to use the same phrase we used earlier, and then you might fall for them. That means that you now are starting to really like that person. It doesn't mean you're in love, like that would be the next level. But when you are falling for someone or starting to fall for someone, it means you are beginning to think a romantic relationship is something you want with that person. When you hit it off with someone, it means that you like each other. It's really obvious when you see two people who hit it off. They'll be silly. They'll talk to each other a lot. They'll laugh when they're talking. And by the way, this doesn't have to just be in a romantic relationship. You can hit it off with people at work. You can hit it off with people that you just meet. So I do have it in this lesson because when two people start to really like each other and they start to fall for each other, you can see, because you can see that they hit it off. They really like being around each other. They really like each other's company, we would say in English. So they just really like each other. A blind date. So I have never been on a blind date. A blind date is when you go on a date with someone who someone else thought you might like to go on a date with. So for instance, you could have a friend who says, I want to set you up on a blind date. I know someone who I think you might like. And so go to this restaurant on Friday night at 7, and this person will be there. And then when you get there, you'll be like, are you Jill? I'm Joe. And then you hopefully get to know each other and like each other. I put this picture here because the beginning of a blind date, I would imagine, is very formal. Like, hello, I'm Bob. And you must be Jen, right? But a blind date must be very interesting. I'm curious to know if anyone's ever been on a blind date. Let me know in the comments or in the chat if you've been on a blind date. To set someone up on a date. So this is another way that people meet people. So someone might say to you, hey, my cousin is really nice and he's single. I think you might like him. I think guys might get along. could I set you up on a date? So basically, someone could say they know someone and ask if you wouldn't mind, if you'd like to go on a date with them. A lot of times this happens when like, if you go to a wedding and you meet someone from the other side of the family, someone might say, hey, remember at the wedding, Joe, you remember the bride's cousin? You really liked her. Do you want me to set you up on a date with her? So you kind of introduce them, and maybe they'll go out. Your type. I put a picture of James Bond here because when you say someone is your type, it means they're the kind of person when you look at them, you are attracted to them, or when you talk to them, you're attracted to their personality. So for some people, they really like James Bond. Why do I forget this actor's name right now? But this might be your type. You might really like 35-year-old men who wear really expensive suits and have lots of money and are physically in good shape. That might be your type. Often when you go to movies, you'll think an actor you'll like an actor because they might be your type. Like, what is it? Tall and handsome, right? The guy might be tall and handsome. The girl might just be very attractive and they are your type. So why am I saying this? Generally, you're only going to have a relationship with someone who's your type because you're attracted to people who are your type. To have chemistry. So when two people have chemistry, it means that, I'm trying to think of another way to say this. It's like they're similar enough that they get along really well, but they're also different enough that they like getting to know each other. When two people have chemistry, they laugh a lot when they talk to each other. When two people have chemistry, they just like when they're just happy when they see the other person. They like sitting beside them. They like talking to them. They like doing things with them. So when you have chemistry, and when earlier someone asked if Jen and I, if it was love at first sight, and I said no, but we definitely had chemistry. Like, I thought Jen was cute. Jen's definitely my type. Jen thought I was cute. We enjoyed talking to each other and getting to know each other. And then eventually we started dating, and the rest is history, as they say. So when you have chemistry with someone, it means that you're very compatible, I would say. And then love at first sight would be you meet someone, and I don't know if this works really in the real world. You meet someone and within like seconds, you're in love with them. The reason I say I don't know if this actually works in the real world is because a romantic relationship is so much more than just being physically attracted to someone. If you think a woman is beautiful, or if you think a man is handsome, you might think you are falling in love, but you haven't started talking yet. You don't even know what their job is or what they like to do on a Friday after work. Like, so love at first sight, I think maybe works, but I think you really have to talk to someone for a bit to find out if you really are compatible and if you have chemistry. So we, of course, have the terms boyfriend and girlfriend. So in a relationship, there might be a boyfriend, there will be a girlfriend. Those are the terms you use when you are seeing someone. So you would say, oh, I have a boyfriend, or, oh, I have a girlfriend. Sometimes kids go to university, they're in their 20s. They might come home and say, oh, I met someone. I have a girlfriend now. Or, hey, this is my girlfriend. I'd like you to meet her. So boyfriend and girlfriend. And then a couple of signs of affection. We'll do the safe ones. There's hug. When two people hug, it usually means they like each other. Although hugs don't have to always be in a romantic relationship. Parents will hug their children, and I'll hug my brother at Christmas and say Merry Christmas. But in a relationship, people who are having a romantic relationship, they will hug, they will kiss. So when you kiss someone, you might kiss them on the cheek, you might kiss them on the lips. A kiss on the lips is definitely a sign of romantic connection. If two people kiss on the lips, they have decided to be in a romantic relationship. And that's as far as I'll go with the physical displays of affection. The common phrase that most of you know and you learn very early in your English career is the phrase, I love you. So when two people are in love, they will often say to each other, I love you. They might text each other and say, I love you. So the other person knows that you love them. And they'll continue to do this in their relationship. They'll continue to say, I love you every once in a while, even though it's understood, like you know the other person loves you, you will still say, I love you every once in a while. So happy Valentine's Day. Hey, let me finish off the questions and we will wrap up this lesson. I think things are still working, even though I was getting a few errors in the chat. Brent says a great James Bond, one of the best. Yes, definitely. Daniel Craig. Thanks, Bridget. Let's see here. Hafia says, I believe in love after several numerous sights. Yes. First sight is a little tricky, I think. Let's see here. Let me get some questions on the screen, people, and we will finish them off. I got about 6 to go. From Majidir, hello, dear Bob. Please explain more about significant other. Is it INF or not? Can we use it on a first date? Not on a first date. Significant other is like an official term for the person you are dating, the person you are currently seeing, or if it could be your spouse, like husband or wife. So if you have a significant other, it means you are in a relationship. At work, if they say, we're having a Christmas party, you can come, please bring your significant other. It means if you're a younger teacher and you're dating someone, you're seeing someone, you can bring your boyfriend or girlfriend. And it means if you're married, you can bring your husband or wife. That's what that would mean. From Natalia, hi, thanks, Bob. This is from a Bob Dylan song. I'm in love with a woman who don't even appeal to me. Does this mean that he loves her, but he doesn't like her? How is this possible? Well, it's because it's a singer and they write things that are very poetic. So maybe he's in love with one aspect of her, but not the entire person. That's the only interpretation I could give. From Moomin Mirza, hello, Bob, and happy Valentine's Day. How can I get a girlfriend? So I do not give dating advice. Okay, let me give some dating advice. I'll give you some dating advice. If you would like to meet someone, you need to make sure that you are what we call out there. It means that if you sit at home, you are unlikely to meet someone. If you, however, visit people, go to see people, do things with other people, larger groups of people, you have a chance that you might meet someone. So number one, you have to get out there. You have to go to your friend's party. You have to do things where you will you meet other people. Number two, be yourself. Always be yourself. Don't try to pretend that you are someone else. That's all the advice I will give. From Junior, hi Bob, what does to be warm on someone mean? I do not use that phrase. It might be a British phrase. I know in French, chaud means something completely different in that regard, but no, I don't know what to tell you. Love at first fight. Hey Bob, saying I love you and I'm in love with you, is it the same or the latter is stronger? Thanks so much. It's the same. If you say I love you or I'm in love with you, it definitely communicates that. Okay, let me take that back. If I'm talking to Jen, I can say I love you or I'm in love with you, and it means the same thing. The second phrase, though, is only for a romantic relationship, okay? The first phrase can be used, like I could say to my mom, I love you. When I talk to my mom on the phone, at the end I say, bye mom, love you, okay? So the first phrase can be used when you're talking to someone who you love romantically, but it can also be used for like family, like I love my brothers and sisters, so you can use it there. The second one is only for a romantic relationship. If you say, I'm in love with you. Omar, hey Bob, where do you think the best place to find someone to love? I honestly think, so if I analyze all of the people I know, and maybe Brent can comment on this, the best place to meet someone is to be introduced to someone by friends. So some people meet online, some people meet when they're in university, but a lot of people I know they meet someone because someone introduces them, right? So it's like the example I gave earlier, like, I have a really nice cousin, he's single. And then if I knew someone else who was single, I might say, hey, I have a really nice cousin, Joe, and I think you guys might hit it off. I think you might get along well. So that's the best place to find someone, is through friends and family who know other people who might set you up on a date. Who knows? So Jose says, related to the topic, I came across the expressions smitten and keen on. Could you explain in which situations or contexts these expressions are used? Yes. When you're smitten, it's like love at first sight. It's like you see someone and you talk to them once and you're not in love, but you might think you're in love. When you're keen on someone, it means it's some of the earlier ones, like you like them, you have a crush on them, you think they're cute. Those are the things you would say when you're keen on someone. I think that's a little more British, I would say. Brent says, it's very tough to meet someone, I bet. I'm so glad I no longer have to do that. Yeah, it's an interesting stage in life, and I know it can happen at different ages. But for Brent and Jamie, and for Jen and I, it was often people will meet at university or during that time in their life when they're in their 20s. And I know you can meet people when you're older, and that's, I totally get it. But I am also glad that we say happily married. And I think it would be tough in this current era. In my opinion, your cousin Joe is really single. Yeah, I don't have a cousin Joe. I do have a single cousin though. Hockey says, do you experience any challenging romantic relationships among your students at school? If so, how did you manage such situations? Thank you. So we basically request that students do not publicly display affection, no holding hands, no hugging, all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, kids in high school, sometimes they date for a bit, sometimes they don't. I usually don't pay much attention to it. It's none of my business, and it's usually not a problem. No, that says, thanks for the great lesson and your time, Bob. I wish you and your family a lovely Friday and a wonderful weekend. A huge hug to you, Bob. Best wishes to Jen and your kids. Thank you very much. And Brent, have a good trip. Brent's leaving for Paris. Have a great trip. I'm jealous, but in a good way. So when someone does something you want to do, you can be jealous. But I hope you have a great time there. Looking forward to seeing some lessons and pictures. John says, thanks for this amazing class, Bob. I'm happy to be here today after 2 weeks away. Have a nice weekend with Jen. I will. Cat Diary says, thank you. It was a great lesson. Have a nice Valentine's Day ahead. I think that snow angels will be the great thing to do on weekends. Probably. We're going to get maybe too much snow for that. Anyways, people, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for watching. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend. I do really need to get going today, so I'm not going to stay and chat for too long. But bye. See you. Oh, forgot to mention, this lesson will come out in a shorter version in a couple days. You should watch it or listen to it. It's really good for your brain and your training, your comprehension and all of that. So rewatch it, or at least rewatch the parts that maybe you didn't understand. It will have subtitles. Anyways,